Welcome back, folks. It's been a while, but I finally have more questions to answer. Welcome back to Ask My Alvy. This is episode 4. Let's do this.
Time to ask the Alvy. Episode 4, the bit of this, a bite of that.
Okay, my first question comes from Sandy from Silicon Valley. Cute. Hey, if you're not going to tell me your real names, that's fine, but that's creative. I like that. Sandy from Silicon Valley writes, why is computer RAM measured in multiples of 8 and hard drive space is an even amount? For instance, is 1024 megabytes really 1 gigabyte or is it 1000 megabytes? Which is it? Well, a long time ago, the hard drive space was also measured in multiples of 8, which is the actual true amount. Yes, 1024 megabytes is a gigabyte. 1024 gigabytes is a terabyte. Now, that is now exclusive to chip memory. Chip-based memory is memory that is held on chips instead of on spinning platters such as hard drives. To make things easier for common folk, they started rounding stuff as far as the hard drive space goes. I found out, much to my dismay, that a terabyte hard drive is really 935.5 gigs. So, because they say that a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes, then 1,000 gigabytes is really 935 and a half, and not the 1024, which is what it's supposed to be. So you're not getting a 2 terabyte, but it's close enough. It's just a nomenclature that they use nowadays to make things what they feel is easier for the common folk. They really can't get away from changing it in chips because it is an 8-bit set that everything is based off on. Because a byte is 8 bits, and they're not getting away from that. No matter, if you look at the progression of operating systems, the 16-bit, 32-bit, 64-bit, it's always going to be in multiples of 8. So in truism, 1024 megabytes is really a gigabyte. But as far as hard drive space goes, it's going to be rounded, and that's just one thing we have to deal with. And there's your answer on that. Thank you very much for writing in. And on to the next question. Let's see, we have Tugboat Surfer from Grand Rapids, again with the, that's funny. Tugboat Surfer. Let's see what he has to say. Or they, we don't know. I just had my computer cleaned, but when I am on the internet, it's still very slow. I don't understand how the programs are running faster, but my web surfing is still taking a huge hit. Okay, I tell all my customers this. There are 2 speeds for computers. The speed of your actual computer and its processing capabilities, and the speed of the internet while it's on your computer. And this is never the same between 2 different computers. Never the same because it all depends on your service. If you have an ISP that is DSL based or cable based, and if you're living in a cave and it's still dial up, there might be some out there. I don't know of any longer. The last one I think died last year here in Gainesville. However, your speed of the service is also coupled with the capability of your actual modem. We have normal standard modems, and we have the DOCSIS 3 and DOCSIS 3.1 coming out soon, which are very fast modems, but they only work for, business accounts or unthrottled account. See, that's another aspect. If you're on the internet between 3 p.m. after school all the way up till 11 or 12 midnight, you're going to be bogged down. And especially between 6 and 9 prime time, just alongside prime time for television, be a prime time for internet, and that is when the ISPs, internet service providers, throttle back everybody's speed depending on what they're doing. And yes, they can see everything. They know what bytes are coming through, and they can know if you're playing a game. They can know if you're just merely surfing, checking your email. They know all of this. Let's just be upfront and honest about that one. They know. So if you're using services that they pretty much frown on, like torrents and such, they're going to be throttling you back. Or even gaming, they're going to be throttling you back during prime time because you're on a residential line. And that's evident in both DSL and cable. And it's really bad in DSL because DSL's fastest service is slower than the slowest cable. And so one thing you might want to think of is upgrading your service. Also, look at how fast your modem can attain speeds. And if you are the household owner and the one that's making the business decisions, I would say make up a company name and get a business account. Just say you have a web creation business or something like that, and do something to substantiate that to make it true. But by all means, get a long-lasting contract. I have a 3-year contract, and it's well worth it. I pay out the ass for it. However, I can achieve with my DOCSIS 3 modem, along with my actual service, I can get anywhere upwards to 75 megabytes a second. That's with the DOCSIS 3 modem. If I did not have that, I would be able to achieve the normal 25 megabytes a second. See, the DOCSIS 3 is a new standard, and DOCSIS 3.1 is even newer. And the DOCSIS 3 modem downloads 3 download streams and 1 upload stream, as opposed to 1 download and 1 upload. It logs into your internet service 3 times and grabs 3 times as much speed. And 3.1 does this about 7 times. And it's possible. It's amazing, but you're going to pay for it. But even on the lower end of the spectrum, the reason you should think about getting an actual contracted service from a business is no throttling back. If you're really serious about your internet activities, and you're not a night owl like me, which doesn't matter because I go online at night, way after everyone's gone to bed, and it's beautiful. It's another thing you can think of. Be a night owl and just do your surfing at night after everyone's gone to bed. The internet does speed up greatly at that point in time, and it won't be long before everyone catches on, and it won't be as fast. Like I said, you can get around all of that by getting a business account and not being throttled, and taking advantage of a DOCSIS 3 or higher modem. The speed of your computer is always going to be the speed of your computer. It's based off your processor and what it can do. There's single cores, dual cores, quad cores, and higher than that. And the speed of your processor, coupled with your modem speed and the amount of RAM you have, also is a major factor in speed. Because if you don't have a lot of RAM, it all comes back to RAM. I tell everyone, because that's the computer's scratch pad. Your computer's hard drive produces just the stagnant programs. The memory, the RAM, is what's running. The RAM, all the programs get loaded from the hard drive into the RAM. And that's why if you have very little RAM, your computer gets really slow because it's got to load chunks at a time and use part of your hard drive space for virtual RAM because it can't keep up. So the more RAM you have, the better off you are, and it's the best upgrade to do, and the most foremost upgrade you should do for any computer is look at your RAM situation. And for that, you should go to crucial.com and get the automatic RAM sniffer, get the RAM detection, and it's free. It's just a small download, and you run it, and it comes up with a page showing you how much RAM you have and how far you can go if you're maxed out, or what levels of RAM you can get, and how much better your computer will perform at those different levels. And you don't have to buy memory from Crucial to use this tool, and I find it indispensable. So that's that. And now we're on to our third question. Not about computers, which is fine because it shows about any kind of questions, but just Okay. Curious in the Dark from Central Park. Hits home. Are all cross-dressing men gay? And does it mean that if I am if I want to try it? It does not mean that. And you'd be surprised to find out, I'm going to say 80 to 85% safely are not gay men at all. Nope, not at all. And it doesn't mean you are if you're interested in it. And those are old fundamentalist blocks and walls that people put up to protect themselves from things they don't quite understand. Yet, know your own self, know who you are, and if you find out that you are that way, then you are that way. You're made that way. It started out that way from the beginning, possibly, or maybe you chose that way later. But it has nothing to do with wanting to dress up. Believe me, I know. And I've never once in my life, I could say, with an honest grin on my face, I've never once thought of a guy. Not in that way, ever. And I also will never be anorexic. That's for damn sure. Because I got these sugar-free Oreo cookies. Mm. They're awesome. And they're sugar-free. Even though I am diabetic, because I'm eating sugar-free, doesn't mean that I am diabetic. Just because you see someone buying diet products at the store doesn't mean that they're diabetic, because they're buying diabetic products. A man walks in the store, buy someone's clothing, some makeup and stuff. For one thing, he may be shopping for someone else who just knows what they want. He may have a list. It could be for him. And even if it is for him, so what? It doesn't mean a damn thing, except that he likes to dress up. Most of the people that do keep it to themselves. Some people are rather public about it, which I think they should be, because people need to be educated about the differences. The technical term for it is transgender. It doesn't mean that you want to be that other gender either. I don't want to be a woman. Never have. I enjoy dressing up, and that is all there is to it. It's very simple. But this cookie is really good. I hope I answered your question. Curious in the Dark in Central Park. Be yourself. Sometimes I'll give you some advice that helps to order things online when you're starting out. I'll try some things that you know your sizes or whatever. Or at least when it comes to makeup and other things. I don't know what all you're into or how far you go. But that way, ordering things online, you just save yourself the embarrassment. Or you can go to a store that nobody knows you at. That's another thing, you know. And so, I'm going to be 40 in January. I still play with Transformers. Was that wrong? No. I pay my bills. It's all that matters. Always be yourself, my friend. Always be who you are. And the people who are truly yours as friends and family will be there for you. And those who aren't there and just don't understand, you don't need them. Honest, you don't. Because if you think about it, these same people that are giving you a hard time about certain things, if you have shared certain things with them, think about it. You don't need them. They're fair weather friends. They're giving you a hard time about something just because of their own insecurities. You know who you are. That's all that matters. Have a great night, everybody. hopefully I'll join you again soon once you get some more questions for Ask My Alvy. Take care. May the force be with you.